primary school. They were great. But I never found out where it came from, who made it. I mean, I assume Rube Goldberg made it. What purpose it originally had? Was it, always entertainment? Blah de blah. So thank you so much to whoever it was that suggested I should read about the Rube Goldberg machine. Okay. If you have any suggestions for Whispering Wikipedia, please leave them in the comments below. I read every comment on this channel, and I'm always super happy to see people's suggestions and take them into account and make videos based on them. So, feel free. A Rube Goldberg machine, named after American cartoonist Rube Goldberg, is a chain reaction type machine or contraption intentionally designed to perform a simple task in an indirect and overly complicated way. Usually, these machines consist of a series of simple unrelated devices. The action of each triggers the initiation of the next, eventually resulting in achieving a stated goal. In the United Kingdom, a similar contrivance is referred to as a Heath Robinson contraption, after cartoons by the illustrator W. Heath Robinson. Interesting, I did not know that. The design of such a machine is often presented on paper and would be impossible to implement in actuality. More recently, such machines are being fully constructed for entertainment and in Rube Goldberg competitions. Over the years, the expression has expanded to mean any confusing or overly complicated system. For example, news headlines include: Is Rep. Bill Thomas the Rube Goldberg of legislative reform? And retirement insurance as a Rube Goldberg machine. The expression is named after the American cartoonist Rube Goldberg, as we saw before, whose cartoons often depicted devices that performed simple tasks in indirect, convoluted ways. The cartoons above, which is this, is Goldberg's Professor Butts and the self-operating napkin, which was later reprinted in a few book collections, including the postcard book Rube Goldberg's Inventions and the hardcover Rube Goldberg Inventions, both compiled by Maynard Frank Wolfe from the Rube Goldberg archives. The term Rube Goldberg was being used in print to describe the elaborate contraptions by 1928 and appeared in the Random House Dictionary of the English Language in 1966, meaning having a fantastically complicated improvised appearance or deviously complex and impractical, because Rube Goldberg machines are contraptions derived from tinkering with the tools close to hand. Parallels have been drawn with evolutionary processes. Very random. Many of Goldberg's ideas were utilized in films and TV shows for the comedic effect of creating such a rigmarole for such a simple task, such as the front gate mechanisms in The Goonies and the breakfast machine shown in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. In Ernest Goes Other films such as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the end credits of Waiting, Diving into the Money Pit, and Back to the Future have featured Rube Goldberg style devices as well. If you remember the very beginning of Back to the Future, where the inventor has his house where his toast automatically makes itself and the coffee gets poured out and blah blah blah. Now to competitions. In early 1987, Purdue University in Indiana stated the annual National Rube Goldberg Machine Contest, organized by the Phi chapter of Theta Tau, a national engineering fraternity. In 2009, the Epsilon chapter of Theta Tau established a similar annual contest at the University of California, Berkeley. Since around 1997, the kinetic artist Arthur Ganson has been the EMCEE of the annual Friday After Thanksgiving FAT competition, sponsored by the MIT Museum in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Teams of contestants construct elaborate Rube Goldberg-style chain reaction machines on tables arranged around a large gymnasium. Each apparatus is linked by a string to its predecessor and successor machine. The initial string is ceremonially pulled, and the ensuing events are videotaped in close-up and simultaneously projected on large screens for viewing by the live audience. After the entire cascade of events has finished, prizes are then awarded in various categories and age levels. Videos from several previous years' contests are viewable on the MIT Museum website. The Chain Reaction Contraption Contest is an annual event hosted at the Carnegie Science Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in which high school teams each build up a Rube Goldberg machine to complete some simple task which changes from year to year in 20 steps or more. On the TV show Food Network Challenge, competitors in 2011 were once required to create a Rube Goldberg machine out of sugar. I wonder what that even looked like. I wonder if they used sugar and then hardened it and just used it as a crafting material, or did they simply just use actual grains of sugar? That's fascinating. Perhaps I'll have to look into that one later on. The Rube Goldberg Company holds an annual Rube Goldberg Machine Contest. Now, there is similar expressions and artists worldwide. In Australia, cartoonist Bruce Petty depicts such themes as the economy, international relations, or other social issues as complicated interlocking machines that manipulate or are manipulated by people. In Austria, Franz Gesellman worked for decades on a machine that he named the Welt Machine, the World Machine, having many similarities to a Rube Goldberg machine. In Belgium, Leonard comics occasionally contain such machines. In Brazil, a TV series from 1990 to 1994 had an intro based on a Rube Goldberg machine. The show journalism to refer to a bewildering law or regulation. In Germany, such machines are often called Was passiert dann Maschine? What happens next, machine? That's cute. For the German name of similar devices used by the Kermit the Frog in the children's TV series Sesame Street. In India, the humorist and children's author Sukama Ray, in his nonsense poem Abol Tabol, had a character, Uncle, with a Rube Goldberg-like machine called Uncle's Contraption. The word is used colloquially in Bengali to mean a complicated and useless object. Curacol is the word. In Italy, in the Italian Renaissance, an artist and scientist, Leonardo da Vinci, described an alarm clock-esque device which, utilising a slow drip of water, would fill a vessel which then operated a lever to wake the sleeper. Interesting. Now we come to Japan. Such devices are often called Pythagorean devices or Pythagoras switch. Pythagoras switch is the name of a TV show featuring such devices. Another related genre is the Japanese art of Shintoku, which involves inventions that are hypothetically useful but of limited actual utility. In Norway, the Norwegian artist and author Kjell Aukrust was famous for his drawings of over-intricate and humorous constructions, which he often attributed to his fictional character inventor, cum bicycle repairman, Reodor Velgen. Eventually, Reodor Velgen became one of the protagonists of the successful animated movie Flakalpa Grand Prix, the Pinchcliffe Grand Prix, in which Velgen's inventions were in fact props constructed in accordance with Aukrust's drawings by Bjorn Sandemos of the animation studio run by film director Ivo Caprino. In Spain, devices akin to Goldberg machines are known as Inventos del Deibio, named after those that several cartoonists, Nit Dinez Marino Bendergerm, Francis Durr, and finally Ramon Sabetes made up and drew for a section in the comic book magazine TBO, allegedly designed by some Professor Franz from Copenhagen in Denmark. In Switzerland, Peter Fischli and David Weiss, Swiss artists known for their art installation movie Der Lauf der Dinge, The Way Things Go, in 1987. It documents a 30-minute long casual chain assembled of everyday objects resembling a Rube Goldberg machine. In Turkey, such devices are known as Zine Brocheleri, allegedly invented by a certain Professor Zini Ziner. Grabby Mind, a curious scientist character created by Irfan Sayar in 1977 for the cartoon magazine Gurger. The cartoonist later went on to open a studio selling actual working implementations of his designs. In the United Kingdom, the term Heath Robinson just to deliver a crisp to one of the members in the Zoom chat. It includes various contraptions on the way, including balls, dominoes, and even someone turning their video calling on at the last second to create the effect. Random and very interesting indeed. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I really enjoyed finding out all these random facts. I don't know how many of them you already knew, but I pretty much knew nothing. I did get some of the references, such as Back to the Future and Wallace and Gromit, but that ending bit with all of the different countries and with their own artists' interpretations and versions, I found that fascinating, how Rube Goldberg machines are like all over the planet. Like they seem to pop up in all different countries and cultures and art forms. That's interesting to me, definitely. I feel like I've seen some Rube Goldberg machines in computer games, so I think that might be something that, should be added to the, list. Definitely Minecraft with its redstone and pulley levers and different things. I think that could be counted as a Rube Goldberg machine, and perhaps there could be a new section of the Wikipedia dedicated to that. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to another video. I love all of you so much, and I hope this was as fascinating as it was for you.